I was 72 years old when my phone rang at 3:47 in the morning, and I almost didn't answer it. After all, who calls at that hour with good news? But something, maybe intuition, maybe stubborn curiosity, made me reach for that old rotary phone on my nightstand, the same one my late husband Harold had insisted we keep because it never breaks down like those fancy things. The voice on the other end was shaky, young, and completely unfamiliar. "Mrs. Patterson? My name is Sarah Chen. I know this sounds crazy, but I think you might be my grandmother." I sat up in bed, my heart hammering against my ribs. The room felt suddenly cold despite the summer heat. You see, I'd given birth to a daughter when I was just 17. Back in 1970, when unmarried mothers were whisked away to homes for unwed girls and told to forget, to move on, to pretend it never happened. I'd held my baby girl for exactly 3 minutes before they took her away. 3 minutes that had haunted me for 55 years. "What's your mother's name, sweetheart?" I whispered, though I already knew the answer would change everything. "Jennifer. Jennifer Chen now, but her birth name was Jennifer Patterson." The phone slipped from my trembling hands. Jennifer. My Jennifer. The baby I'd named in those precious 3 minutes, whispering it into her tiny ear like a secret prayer. I'd spent decades wondering, every young woman I'd see on the street, every birthday that passed, March 15th, I'd think about her. Was she happy? Did she know she was loved? Did she ever wonder about me? Harold and I had tried for years to have more children, but it wasn't meant to be. That one daughter, given away before I could even memorize her face, remained my only child. "Are you still there?" Sarah's voice brought me back to the moment. "Yes, honey, I'm here. I'm right here." What followed was the most extraordinary conversation of my life. Sarah told me she was 26, a teacher in Portland, Oregon. She'd been searching for our family for 2 years after her mother, my Jennifer, had passed away from cancer. Jennifer had left her a letter, sealed and marked, "Open only if you want to find where you came from." "She wrote about you," Sarah said, and I could hear her crying now. She said she'd always wondered about the young woman who gave her life, who made the hardest choice a mother could make. She said she hoped you'd found happiness. I pressed my hand to my mouth to stifle a sob. Happiness. Had I found happiness? I'd built a good life with Harold, 43 beautiful years before he passed 5 years ago. We'd traveled, we'd loved deeply, we'd created a home filled with laughter and music. But there had always been this hollow space, this wondering, this grief that I'd learned to carry like a stone in my chest. "Tell me about her," I managed to say. "Tell me about my daughter." For the next 2 hours, as dawn crept through my bedroom curtains, Sarah painted a picture of Jennifer's life. She'd been adopted by loving parents who told her the truth from the beginning. She'd become a nurse, specializing in pediatric care. She'd married a wonderful man, David Chen, and they'd been devoted to each other for 30 years. She'd loved gardening, just like I did. She'd made the world's best apple pie, just like my mother had taught me to make. "She had your eyes," Sarah said. "Green with little gold flecks, and she hummed when she was happy, this little tuneless humming that drove Dad crazy but made me feel safe." I laughed through my tears because I hummed too, the same unconscious melody that my own mother used to hum while she worked in her kitchen. "There's something else," Sarah continued. "Mom saved money her whole life, hoping to find you someday. She wanted to take you on a trip, just the two of you. She never got the chance, but she left instructions. She wanted me to ask you, would you like to go to Ireland? She always dreamed of seeing the countryside where your family came from." 3 months later, I found myself standing in a field of impossibly green grass in County Cork, holding my granddaughter's hand as we scattered Jennifer's ashes in the wind. We'd spent 2 weeks together, sharing stories, filling in the gaps of a lifetime. Sarah had her mother's gentle spirit and her grandfather Harold's terrible jokes. She called me Nana, and every time she said it, my heart grew a little bigger. That phone call didn't just give me back my daughter's story. It gave me a future I'd never dared to imagine. Sarah visits every few months now, and we talk every Sunday. She's teaching me to use something called FaceTime so I can see her face when we chat. Last month, she told me she's engaged to a lovely young man named Marcus, and she's asked me to help plan the wedding. At 72, I thought my story was mostly written. I thought the chapters of motherhood and family were closed to me forever. But life, I've learned, has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. Sometimes, the most important chapters begin with a phone call in the middle of the night, with a voice you've never heard speaking words you've waited a lifetime to hear. If you're carrying a secret grief, if you're wondering about someone you've lost touch with, if you think it's too late for new beginnings, I'm here to tell you it's not. Love finds a way. Family finds a way. Hope, even when it's been buried for 55 years, finds a way to bloom again. That little girl I held for 3 minutes grew up to be an extraordinary woman who raised an extraordinary daughter. And now, at 72, I get to be the grandmother I never thought I'd be. Sometimes the most beautiful gifts come wrapped in the most unexpected packages, even if that package is a phone call at 3:47 in the morning.